Shout out to our sponsor, Movement Watches. Get multiple watches in one with bands you can switch out for a whole new look without a whole new price because who needs to buy a whole new watch for every occasion? Get 15% off your entire purchase at mvmtwatches.com/theknow. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Hold on to those cowboy hats, everyone, because another Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer could finally be on the way. Maybe we'll actually get more details this time, although maybe we shouldn't get our hopes up too much. According to the latest rumors, the next marketing we see for the game could be coming in the form of a live-action trailer. The Great Falls Tribune from Montana reports that a film crew was shooting a live-action scene at a church on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation, and many think it could be related to Rockstar's Wild West franchise. The shoot's producer said that the game takes place in the Old West, that it's an open-world game, that it's a sequel to an existing global franchise. All things that sound very, very familiar. The location they were filming at also exists in the game in the form of the imaginary Hope County. All of that lines up with Rockstar's MO, so we'll see if it turns out that we get a live action trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 sometime in the near future. Personally, I really like gameplay, but you know, live action's exciting too. Now, we're just 2 weeks away from Destiny 2's reveal gameplay event, but we've got some slight details about what else we can expect from the game thanks to an Activision earnings call. In their latest update to investors, Activision reported that Destiny fans need not worry about content updates. We now have a lot of confidence that we're going to be able to keep up with demand with that steady stream of content and sort of keep pace with our players' engagement post-release of Destiny 2. In addition to that comment, Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg also claimed that PC fans will have a lot to look forward to, saying, "We're committed to delivering meaningful features that are bespoke for the PC community." So, sounds like the Master Race will be getting some unique features. All sounds good for everyone involved so far. The Destiny 2 reveal event is set for May 18th, so expect another update about that time. Now, thanks to Bethesda's new early review copy policy, namely that there aren't any, we're faced with the fun problem of Prey coming out today with barely any reviews to show for it. However, reviews have started to trickle out for Arcane's sci-fi thriller, and so far the reports are pretty good. At the moment, just a handful of reviews have been published, with Press Start and Gadgets 360 both awarding Prey a 9 out of 10, while Attack of the Fanboy gave it a 4.5 out of 5, and GamePro Germany scored it at 8.5 out of 10. And if you've been nervous about the game's PC release because Arcane doesn't have the strongest track record, and you know, also neither does Bethesda, it actually looks like Arcane kept its word in that department. Now, so far, the Steam reviews haven't reported any crazy bugs, any crazy problems with the game's launch. At the time of writing, there are close to 450 user reviews for the game on Steam, keeping it at a very positive rating, so that's a good early sign. But, of course, Bethesda and Prey have made headlines for very different reasons this week. After word broke, we reported on this yesterday, that Bethesda applied a little bit of pressure to indie developer No Matter Studios about their game Prey for the Gods. Bethesda has now responded to some of the backlash over the name change this week. Vice President of PR and Marketing Pete Hines said about the legal dispute on Twitter, "We really didn't have much of a choice. If we don't oppose the mark, we risk losing our Prey trademark. We don't really have a choice." According to Hines, the team didn't listen when they first reached out about it, which was over 2 years ago, before No Matter Studios' Kickstarter for their game even launched. And Hines said it's just part of the game because Bethesda has had to change the name of a number of games and DLCs in the past for the very same reason. So next time you get mad at someone for enforcing trademarks on smaller games, just remember, they have to, obviously. Interestingly, this could have an impact on what CD Projekt Red has said they are doing or not doing with the Cyberpunk trademark, which is they said that we'll use it defensively, not offensively, but according to Hines, you can't do that and keep the trademark, so we'll see how it all goes. Now, if you're wondering how well Persona 5 has been doing for PlayStation, we got a little bit more information about your new favorite team of cat burglars and where I spend all my time. In a new update on the PlayStation blog, Sony revealed that Persona 5 was the #1 most downloaded game in the US PlayStation Store for the month of April, topping out over other hits like Grand Theft Auto 5, the Nathan Drake Collection, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and fellow newcomer Mass Effect Andromeda. In addition to the sales bragging, Persona series director Katsura Hashino also stopped by to offer his thanks to fans in a separate PlayStation blog post, writing, "As a developer, I'm very happy to hear that Persona 5 is being played by so many people overseas." In the post, Hashino also talked about handing the reins of the series over and how he's working on a new RPG project set in a fantasy world. I mean, as long as we can continue to be magical schoolboys, I'm probably in. Now, is the Call of Duty hate train finally finished? That's what Activision is claiming. In another part of yesterday's earnings call, the company said that the dislike effect they witnessed with Infinite Warfare is all but non-existent with the trailer for this year's title, World War II. According to them, World War II's trailer was the fastest any Call of Duty trailer had hit 10 million views, which it achieved on day one. And better than that, it didn't get dislike bombed, which is always a good sign. Activision Blizzard boss Bobby Kotick said, "Negative social media sentiment, which was an issue last year, has virtually evaporated." So, everyone's done hating Call of Duty, now they're back to boots on the ground or whatever. Well, everyone except YouTube and advertisers, apparently. But does that mean we're not going to get any awesome justifications like people are super engaged and passionate? So we'd have to spin all the dislikes into a positive, I guess. But that's not all that came out of Activision's earnings call. We also learned that Overwatch has made more than $1 billion, making it the 8th game for the company to hit that mark. It joins franchises like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Guitar Hero as games that have raked in a metric fuckton of cash. That's, definitely a metric, yes. And Overwatch did it in less than a year, making that even more impressive. Overall, Blizzard has said that with 41 million monthly active users across all games, it's up 58% year over year, and that jump is most definitely due to Overwatch, so thanks Overwatch players, even the Hanzo memes. Now, we knew that we were going to be getting some Switch games courtesy of the Unreal Engine 4, but it turns out we are getting a lot more than expected. In an interview on Automaton, Takuya Kawasaki, the territory manager for Epic Games Japan, says there are about 20 titles being developed that use the engine. He added, "I think they'll be announced gradually from here on." At this point, the only Unreal Engine game we've seen on the Switch has been Snake Pass, which was lovely, but 3 more have been confirmed: Dragon Quest XI, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, and Shin Megami Tensei, which means there are still a lot of unannounced games. Hey, and guess what? E3 is right around the corner. I wonder if we'll hear about any of those then. Now, HBO knows you love Game of Thrones. They have the numbers to prove it. And HBO knows the series is winding down. It's got 2 seasons left, and even so, they're both shorter seasons, like half seasons. But don't worry, HBO is gonna make sure you have a lot more Game of Thrones to watch after that. The network is looking at four possible spin-off series that it's developing with a number of different writers, along with the man himself, George R.R. Martin. Oh, so that's why he's not writing. Just step off, HBO. We get him sometimes too, okay? According to The Hollywood Reporter, each of these different spin-offs would explore different time periods in the Game of Thrones universe. That means they could be sequels, prequels, spin-offs. Maybe we'll get the adventures of, was it Duncan and Egg? 4 different screenwriters are working on developing scripts for each show, and based on what they come up with, HBO could decide to order one or all of them. None of the writers are involved with the current series, so, you know, that's a little bit of a bummer because, frankly, Benioff and Weiss have been awesome, but you know, they all pretty have legit backgrounds. Max Borenstein, for instance, wrote screenplays for Kong Skull Island and 2014's Godzilla. Jane Goldman wrote the screenplay for Neil Gaiman's Stardust, which admittedly didn't do all that well commercially, but she also adapted the Kick-Ass comic for the big screen. Carly Rae wrote for Mad Men and HBO's The Leftovers, and Brian Helgeland wrote Legend and the Jackie Robinson biopic 42. As for Martin, he's writing with both Rae and Goldman and their respective projects. Needless to say, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with and what HBO ultimately decides to pick up. I mean, you know, come to think of it, like Daenerys would make a pretty awesome host for Animal Planet show, right? 2017 has been a rough year for Uber, and it's about to get a lot worse. The Department of Justice has launched a criminal investigation into the ride-sharing company over the use of secret software. Yeah, secret software Never a good thing. Not for users, that is. Allegedly, Uber was using it to evade authorities in cities where it was banned or restricted. As the Washington Post described it, the software, which was called Greyball, identified and blocked rides to transportation regulators who were posing as Uber customers to prove that the company was operating illegally, which, yeah, government's probably not going to be too happy about that. The investigation is still pretty new, but it adds to the growing amount of negative press for the company. Uber's founder, Travis Kalanick, has been accused of sexual harassment. A bunch of high-level executives have left, and it's being sued over trade secrets by Google's parent company. None of those good things. Also, there was the whole thing about them secretly tracking everyone's location even if you deleted the app. So hopefully there's an Uber for lawyers. They're gonna need it. Actually, you know, come to think of it, that just might be Uber. Or I guess if your lawyer can't afford their own car, you might want to get a different lawyer. Anyway, that's all the news we have for you guys today. Let us know what you think of all these stories down in the comments. Make sure you like this video so you see all of our updates in your feed. If you're new around here, subscribe to the Know. And either way, have an awesome weekend. Thanks to Movement Watches for sponsoring this update. Movement Watches are made with versatility in mind because you don't want to buy a whole new watch for every occasion. That's gonna get expensive really quick. This way, if you're wearing brown shoes, you switch out a metal band for a brown leather band and it's like a new watch. In fact, I'm doing that now. I have so I got the, it's a black face watch with rose gold, and I have a black leather band, but I actually just ordered a rose gold band and I'm pretty excited about it. Watches start at $95, but you can get 15% off your entire purchase when you go to mvmtwatches.com/theknow.